What's up, guys? Dadbot here. Welcome back to the Elden Ring walkthrough. So we are here in Liurnia. Actually, in this episode, we're going to head back to Limgrave real quick. We're going to take on a secret area that's hidden behind a stone sword key door here. I think it's called the Fringefolk Hero's Grave, something along those lines. I'm going to go ahead and take this icon off. I put that little sword icon there earlier in the game, indicating that that's a stone sword key door that we're going to want to open later. However, now I have so many keys in my inventory that I just open whichever ones I come across. And then we're going to hit this place up right here. This is a cave that actually connects from Limgrave to Caelid. This is the main entrance, and this is actually a secondary entrance, but we're going to hit both of these spots up. These episodes might be a little bit shorter, just because there's a couple specific things that I want to cover before moving on to the next big area. So we'll see how it goes. First of all, I'm going to pass the time till morning and then see if I can level up. And I'll put this one into Vigor. As I said, I'll be splitting the next several levels between Vigor and Strength. I'll alternate back and forth when I get a level up. Hit confirm. And yes, in this side of Grace, there's an option to talk to Melina. I believe she wants to talk to us about Bach, who is that NPC who's right in front of us.
Your seamster, Bach. He is always eager to see your return. Please, will you talk to him when you can? I'm sure he would be much contented.
Okay. And I don't think that changes his dialogue at all, but yeah, no, he's still the same. Okay, so we're going to head over here to the Stranded Graveyard. And this will have a stone sword key door, which actually takes 2 keys to unlock. But we have plenty, so not a problem. And there's actually one we're going to find in here that's going to offset one of the keys we had to use to get in here. So yes, there's 2 little statues that need a key. So right when we walk in, we're greeted with a poison swamp. So the way that I suggest dealing with this is just to run and jump off and then just sprint straight through. Do not roll, because if you roll, it'll get on your clothes. And as soon as you get onto dry land, your poison buildup's going to keep going. But this place is a little bit tough, which is why I don't suggest coming here right at the very beginning of the game. And I know you're tempted to get that shiny, but I would suggest waiting, because there are these chariots with big spiky wheels that if they hit you, they're pretty much going to kill you in one hit. So I would suggest waiting for it to leave and then pick up your item on the way. And then run all the way down here. Do not stop, and then tuck away right here just in the nick of time. And then when it passes you, go down here and then drop down. And then what you can do is you can run down here. You can hide in here. And he is... Well, he's not coming yet. Oh, there he is. I could have made it, but he doesn't always take that long. So I see he's kind of patrolling in that route. And we'll see where he stops on the way up. Oh, yeah, he does not give us much room on the way up. So when he passes us on the way down, run, grab the shiny, and then U-turn, drop off right here. And this is actually a spot where you can drop off. This is sort of a secret area. This is not part of the main path, but there's some good loot in here. There's also some gargoyles. Imp gargoyle statue things down here. Get this one. Whoop, overshot him. And down here in this tunnel is one of those giant flame pillar things. So what I suggest doing is pick up your bow or whatever your projectile of choice is, sneak down here, and then just shoot it one time so that it'll send it down. If you don't do that, you'll run in here and it'll smoke you. So in here is another imp statue, enemy, gargoyle thing. And these are all over the place down here. So here we can turn. There's another one in here. But we also get some lightning grease, and there's one that pops up behind you too, so just be careful. So again, that chariot will kill you in one hit, or very close to kill you in one hit. So a different way of going about it is you can use the bubble tier in your physic flask to give you basically a free hit. So that way, if it does hit you, it's not going to kill you instantly. It is quite a pain to deal with. And there are multiple dungeons in this game that has those. So in here is a bit of a dicey situation. There are grafted scions that are going to come for us. There's one up there, and then there's one over here, and they drop down right when you get this item over here. It's a talisman. I'm going to go on and hit my physic flask. At our level, it's not going to be too challenging, but it is not an easy fight. The other one's on the other side of the bridge. And he is already over here. I'm taking too long. You don't technically have to fight these because where we're going next is on the other side of the bridge. But I do want the challenge of the fight, so for better or worse. Oh, he's got 1 HP left. Are you kidding me? He's doing his spin move. Having them both on you at the same time, generally not a good idea. I can't believe this one has 1 HP left. Normally I'm able to take out the first one before the second one comes over. Oftentimes the second one's chilling on the other side of the bridge, and I have to lure it over with a bow shot. But I'll show you what I mean. You do not have to fight both of these. As I said, I'm going to fight both of these, but I'll show you what I mean. Now that this one's over here on this side, I could literally just run across the bridge and not even worry about fighting them right now, but part of me just wants to kill both of them just because that's how I am. Oh, he blocked that with his shield. Okay. So when they're both, even in the case where I was fighting both of them, all I have to do is run across this bridge. And then where we're going next is there's a drop-off spot right here. So right below us, just drop off here. And then you can avoid that fight completely just by dropping off the edge. And we're going to drop down again into this disgusting pit. And that talisman that we just got is actually a very solid talisman. I realized I hadn't even equipped my... Oh, I did put this on, but I put it in my first slot. I was like, I thought I equipped the claw talisman, but I had it in my first slot in place of the Radagon Scar Seal. So let's see this. If I take this off, so what we picked up is the Erdtree's Favor. It raises your max HP, stamina, and equipment load. So 3 stats that are pretty solid. But with the Radagon Scar Seal, which we currently have equipped, it also increases those same attributes, but it also increases your damage taken. So you see here, the Radagon Scar Seal actually increases your level. So I'm technically level 36 in Vigor, but this boosts it up to 39. But you see, it does increase our HP, but not as much as the Scar Seal does. So it really just depends. Do you want kind of a boost in these stats? That's not as big as the boost you're going to get from this, but you don't take the extra damage, or do you want the bigger boost, but you take the extra damage? And I don't know. It's just a calculation you have to kind of weigh on yourself. Later on in the game, we're going to get an Erdtree Favor +1 and an Erdtree Favor +2 that increases these stats even more. So really up to you. The extra equip load could be nice. It really just depends on what you want to roll with. I might actually put the Erdtree's Favor in place of this extra damage boost. I mean, the boost isn't that catastrophic, so I'll keep the damage boost in place. I just wanted to show you what that talisman does. It boosts 3 of your stats, which could be a difference maker in what type of armor you're wearing and that type of stuff. So I just wanted to point that out before moving on. So we'll take this elevator up. And later on in the game, as I said, we're going to get an Erdtree Favors +1 and an Erdtree Favors +2. So those will give you an even bigger boost. And by the time we get to the +1, I might actually equip that. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so up here is going to be a fairly tough enemy. He's like a phantom version. We encountered these things at Stormvale. Oh, he's blowing fire at me. And he's not giving me an opening. There we go. Oh, man. It's not having my jump attack. Okay, so here's where we get our Stone Sword key. So now our Chariot. Do not drop down yet. Our Chariot, if we face this way, should be heading down this path. The Chariot basically covers the area that you are currently traversing. If you look up, though, you see these giant pots. You can actually shoot these down, and if they land on the chariot, it's going to bust the chariot open, and you're going to get... Well, for one, you're not going to have to deal with the annoyance of the chariot for the rest of this level, and for two, you're going to get a great bow for doing so. So the way that I do this, it's kind of tough. I sort of use an audio cue. When I hear it like hitting this wall, that's my cue to like press the button to shoot my arrow. So I'm going to aim. You have to aim right for like the string, and then once I hear it hit this wall, right there, I'm gonna press the button, and then it should land on the chariot. So you can't. The thing is when you're aiming, you can't see where it's at. So I just kind of listen for that thump when it hits this wall right here, and then as soon as I hear that thump, I press R1, and then the delay between when I press R1 and I actually shoot the arrow, it's going to turn around and be facing headed down the opposite direction right underneath that jar. And if you get the timing, you blow up the chariot, which makes the rest of this experience considerably easier, and you get, as I showed you, you get that great bow. It's the Erdtree great bow. A bit, they're obviously heavier than regular bows, so I don't like to equip them just because it makes my equipment load too heavy. If you get three chances to do that. There's 3 of those jars up there. If you miss all 3 of them, then you've kind of missed your chance. I would even suggest if you miss it, it might even be worth it to reload the level and just kind of run down to where we just were and try again. Because again, you do get that loot, and it does make the rest of this a lot easier because you can do the rest of this level without having to dodge the chariot. So this is back to where we originally dropped off right here. But in this case, we're going to progress forward. Sans the chariot, which makes me happy. So here's a junction. I turn right here for starters. There's some stuff over here. And again, if you don't kill the chariot, the chariot's gonna be chasing you the whole time. All right, so at the top, we have an item and an enemy. This enemy actually drops an item, so I do suggest killing it. It's a seal, which really you're only going to be using for incantations anyways, but... there we go. So here we got Dragon Wound Grease, and then here we get the Dragon Communion Seal. This seal boosts your... if you're using dragon spells... It boosts those dragon spells. These guys are all trying to shoot me, but I'm not interested in them at all, so I'm just going to run away. And then when we go down, you know, if you remember at that juncture, we turn right. But here, we're just going to go straight, which is as if we turned left, and this is going to take us down to the boss. Bunch of little... ghosts that are going to pop up. Oh man, I'm getting sniped. And so here's the boss. I'm not in good shape for this boss, but fortunately I think there's a statue of America that's going to respawn us here if we lose. So we have an ulcerating tree spirit. If you remember, this is the same thing that we fought at the basement of Stormville Castle. I'm not doing so hot. I like to... They move kind of fast for how big they are. I like to stay kind of on the body because if you stay close to their body, you miss a lot of the headshot type, the stuff that he does with his head. And you have a big old spot to hit him. So he's doing an AoE right here. That's the one thing that's not good to be close to his body for. And he has a lot of big windups, and you can, you know, if you dodge at the right time, you'll miss the damage. Eventually, I'm going to get a stagger on him. There we go. I might actually pull this off. I'm going to heal up after this. Because he's gonna buff up here, do an AoE. Oh, that was his grab attack. If he had landed that grab attack, that would have been bad. All right, come on. One more hit. There we go. Got him. So part of why I saved this for later on in the game is just because this is a pretty tough dungeon with a pretty tough boss. Golden Seed and the Banished Knight Oleg. This is a very good summon. A lot of people like to use this one. He's pretty beefy, but I'm pretty sure his FP cost is higher than what I can even do right now. I don't think I put a single level to increase my FP, and I'm pretty sure his cost is higher than what I can even do. So we'll use this to return to the entrance, and that is it for this dungeon. As I said, significantly easier if you can take out the Chariot at the beginning. If not, the Chariot's going to give you problems. So I do suggest, even if you miss those 3 shots, reload the area, just drop down to that spot real quick, take the elevator up. It's going to take you like a minute or 2 to get back there, but it'll save you a lot of grief. And as I said, my method for getting that Chariot is I kind of use an audio cue of when the Chariot hits that wall that I'm standing on, because you can't see it, unfortunately, when you're aiming. So that's just how I do it, and it seems to be fairly reliable. So what we're going to do is we're going to warp to the Third Church of Marika. There's a back door to a tunnel that you can get from over here. The entrance to the tunnel, the proper entrance to the tunnel, is technically in Caelid. But this is going to be the second thing we do in this episode, and I'm going to go on and after we're done with this, that'll be the end of this episode. Use these to jump up. Oh. Over here is the entrance to our cave. And this is Gael's Tunnel. Yeah. So you see, we do not have a Site of Grace, but once we unlock this one right here, it actually unlocks on the map both the Site of Grace at the rear entrance and the front entrance. So you just unlock this Grace and it gives you both of them. I don't know why, and that's useful because this door does not open from this side. So in order to actually proceed through the dungeon, we're actually going to have to go back outside and warp to the other one that unlocks. I don't know why that is, but that's just how they set this thing up, which, you know, whatever. So we're going to warp to the front entrance of Gael's Tunnel. And so I mentioned that when we progressed north to the upper plateau area, we unlocked this Site of Grace right here after defeating the Abductor Virgin boss, that it triggers an event in Caelid. This event that we triggered in Caelid is actually relevant to Alexander, the giant jar, his quest. And so he's actually moved there already. If we had not already triggered that event in Caelid, Alexander would actually be in this tunnel, and he would have, you know, just kind of not a major progression point of his side quest, but he would just mention that he's going to some festival and that kind of thing. So we actually missed that dialogue. We have not messed up his quest in any which way whatsoever, but we did just miss one point of dialogue because we had already gone on and triggered that sequence. This is a tunnel mining level. I'm actually going to switch to my my big bonk brick hammer, and I know this is a human enemy, but this will actually work just as well against him. But we do have a lot of the miners that are weak to this blunt damage, so this will help us out a lot against those enemies. Oops, short hopped that one. And I could probably level up. I'm probably getting close to being able to level up. I'll do that next time I get to a Site of Grace. Yeah, this octopus is not happy to see us. He's just straight up spamming, but eventually he calms down and we can kind of do the normal strategy as soon as he calms down. He comes out swinging though, so Okay. Just make sure as you swing through here, you're picking up all the goodies. All right, that's a bleed type weapon. I think it's a spear. Let me just picked up. We got some smithing stones as well. Whoops, I meant to jump there and I accidentally rolled. And these are some pretty decent smithing stones we got in here. A lot of fours. One of these has a horn, but the horn's not going to matter much because we pretty much killed all the human-based enemies in here, so. Gold pickled foul foot. Yeah, so we're pretty much one-shot jump attacking most everything in here. This guy I'm going to try to... There we go. That worked. But there's a guy behind him as well. Glintstone scrap. Grace mimic. And some more smithing stone 4. So pretty decent haul of smithing stone 4s in here. Swing around, make sure I didn't miss a pickup. There we go. We are good to go. So down here is where the two paths meet. So this is the door that we could not unlock from the other side. So now I've unlocked it. There's our other side of grace, which I'm actually going to use to level up real quick. And for the boss, I'm going to switch to my regular weapon. He is not weak to blunt damage, so use my regular weapon. And I'll put this level into strength. And before walking in, I'm going to pop my physic flask. So this is a magma worm. I think this is the first of this type that we've fought so far in the game. These guys are a little bit tricky, but not too bad. You can summon. I recommend staying away from his head because he blows fire from his head that gets all over the ground, and if you run over it, it has kind of like a lingering effect. So if you run over it, it's going to hurt you. He also spits fireballs from his mouth. This is an example of a boss that I prefer to fight unlocked because you generally lock onto his head, and I prefer to hit him more in the body and closer to the tail. You see he does have a tail whip effect, but like it's not generally his attacks don't hit too hard, so if you need to heal, you have plenty of time to heal. I'm more or less jump attack spamming until he lets me get a critical. And again, this is why I just like to run up to his body and fight him at his body as opposed to locking onto his head, because all of his fire attacks come from his head. Wait till he wakes back up. And he does move pretty fast, and you do have to watch out for that lava that he spits on the floor, because it does hurt. You see right there, I was getting hurt by it. It's got a body slam attack. Just gonna finish this off with jump attacks. Oh, got one hit left. Oh, really? Wow. Oh, man. He had one hit left. I was just, I was just taking that as a given. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at that where I'm like, oh, they got one hit left. I'll get that hit easy. And then I get greedy. That is my, bar none, my biggest weakness in these games is I get greedy. I didn't even drink my physic flask. Oh, he's not happy about me drinking it. Keep my health top off to repeat, to hopefully not repeat disaster. Finally got the stagger. All right. Get away so I don't die again. Good lord. That lava, I think, is what killed me the first time. He did a lava move, and I didn't get out of the way, and I was just standing in it. Okay. So we get a Dragon Heart and the Moon Veil. So for those of you who are going for an Ent/Dex build, hard to get better bang for your buck than the Moon Veil. The Moon Veil is a very solid weapon for Ent Dex builds. One of the big reasons being the special move that it has is it's the same as the Unsheath that the Uji Katana has, but it also has, like, the Unsheath has a projectile component to it, which is quite nice. So you see here when I warped to the exit, it actually takes us to the Caelid exit, which is what we want, because there's one small thing that we missed by taking the alternate way through here. Because you remember, we originally went through here, we unlocked the Grace Point, which also unlocked this Grace Point, and we just warped straight here to this Grace Point. But warping straight to that Grace Point, we missed something, you know, not super important, but I do want to show it to you. It is a Sombering Smithing Stone 4 that we miss by warping straight to the side of Grace instead of going to the proper entrance in Caelid. But again, using that teleport to the entrance takes you to the Caelid entrance. And so right here, oh, it's a Somber 2, my bad. But yeah, you do miss that because when you drop down here, here's your Grace Point. Here's where we started. You see, I haven't even unlocked this Grace Point yet, but it still allowed us to warp to it since we had unlocked this one. So anyway, as I said, this is going to be a bit of a shorter episode. That's going to be it for now. I'll pick things back up next time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you around. Thank you so much.